I am so glad that Sneak Peek got the opportunity to attend the Austin Film Festival over the past week.
Me too, but with all the interviews and movies, I am definitely going to need a recap.
Well, you're in luck. We have Amanda, Hunter, and Robbie here with us to talk us through some of their thoughts about the festival.
Fill us in, guys.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Hunter Gasaway, and welcome to our AFF discussion panel. I'm here with Amanda and Robbie, and we're just going to talk about some of our favorite movies that we had the honor of seeing at AFF this past week. So Robbie, what was one of your favorites that you saw at the festival?
Well, one of my favorites, which I saw with you, Hunter, was a wonderful little movie called It Hatched.
It Hatched is a fantastic Icelandic horror film that can only best be described as Iceland's version of Tommy Wiseau's The Room. It is truly awful, but in the best way, where the performances are not good at all, but they make for a truly magical movie-going experience.
It truly was, Hunter. I definitely agree with you there. I love the parts where the husband called his wife in the movie his silly Billy Gumdrop. That whenever I heard that repeatedly, I was just like, man, this is definitely cinema right here.
Yeah, me and Robbie, during the film, which we saw with some of our other friends, we were laughing through the entire thing, slapping each other, like coughing so loud because we were laughing, and we were hurting from laughing. It was truly a fantastic experience, and I suggest you check out It Hatched whenever it becomes available to watch, because it's a mind-blowing experience.
That's right. The second this goes digital, I'm gathering all of my friends together to watch It Hatched, and we will eat popcorn and have a great time.
It's going to be fantastic. Amanda, tell us about something that you saw that you enjoyed.
So AFF was really fun, but unfortunately I did not get to watch a lot of movies. Actually, I only got to watch one, but it was the Grand Bolero, and I got to interview the director, Gabriel Fabreau, and I just gotta say, he was my favorite person to interview. He was full of energy, super nice. I loved interviewing him, but his movie, oh my god, I loved it. It might be one of my new favorite movies. The soundtrack, it's a movie about pipe organs. So the soundtrack was amazing, cinematography was mwah, and then the character development was incredible, super fun thriller. Or I wouldn't say fun, but it definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. So I don't think it has been picked up for American distribution, but when it does, I think the viewers at home should definitely keep an eye out.
Yes, and speaking of thrillers, something that I saw this weekend that I wanted to spotlight was The Humans, directed by Stephen Karam, who won a Tony for writing the Broadway play. And this is a film that strangely comes off feeling like a horror film for a lot of its runtime, despite being a really tense family drama. And what really anchors this movie is some absolutely fantastic performances from Stephen Yeun, Beanie Feldstein, Marsha Plimpton, I think is the actress's name. I might be wrong on that one, but mainly the person I want to highlight is Richard Jenkins, who plays the lead. He plays the dad of this family, and his performance, especially in the last third of the movie, where he gets a lot of time to just himself to wander around, his facial expressions and his body language is incredible. It's a truly great performance and something to watch out for come Oscar season, because I think he could be snapping a nomination.
Did you watch that one?
Oh, I did watch that one with Hunter too, and it was very good. It's a family drama, but the way it was shot makes it seem like a horror movie, like a suspense one. So it was a very unique experience compared to a lot of other movies I've seen in the horror genre or family drama genre.
Yeah. And speaking of things that could nab Oscar nominations, I think all eyes are on Kristen Stewart and starring in Spencer, obviously, and it was truly a beautiful movie. The production design, the costume design, the way it was shot, it just made it look like a wedding cake, and it was gorgeous. One of the best looking films of the year, and Kristen Stewart, I think, does deliver that stellar performance that I would call the best performance of 2021. Robbie, what did you think of that film?
Oh, I really enjoyed Spencer a lot. I love the production design behind it, like the clothing and all of that. If you noticed Kristen Stewart's character Diana, her clothing compared to the others, it's bright and cheerful, while others are all gray and dark. So I thought that was a really great choice.
Absolutely. Another film I know you loved that I also loved, and I'll let you talk about it first, is Come On, Come On.
I loved Come On, Come On so much. It's a new movie from Mike Mills. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. It's about an uncle who is like a radio host as he records like kids and their thoughts on the world in the future. And it's about his story about taking care of his nephew for an extended period of time, and him learning more about the world from his nephew, and his nephew learning more about him. And it's just like a beautifully shot movie.
Yeah, it's beautiful, deeply moving, surprisingly very funny. We laughed through the entire film, and a lot of the comedy comes from the child actor who gives a truly stellar performance. Probably the best child performance I've seen since Jacob Tremblay in Room, and I wish I knew the young actor's name because he is fantastic in this film. Another film I think we'd be remiss not to mention was the opening night film, that being Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. And, of course, it was phenomenal. The intricacies of Wes Anderson's production design and his film style is incredible. Amanda, what did you have to say?
I just say, like, I think that was like one of the most painful moments of Austin Film Festival for me, is not being able to see that movie. I didn't get a badge for it. That was my mistake. But I definitely want to know what y'all think about it, because I have high expectations for this movie.
I do have some thoughts. I am a big Wes Anderson fan. I've seen all of his films, and so I definitely want to see this one. And like Hunter said, the production design and all of that was spectacular. Some of his best work. But this movie is an anthology movie. It's made up of 3 separate stories. And because of that, I think the movie lacked a bit of like emotion or human connection in a way, because it didn't have much time to develop the characters. Like, think of his other characters like Mr. Fox from Fantastic Mr. Fox, or Monsieur Gustav from The Grand Budapest Hotel. There wasn't really any characters like that for me who I really like connected to and like enjoyed. But in terms of just like seeing the comedy and production design, that made it worth it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a fun movie, and a movie that I will definitely revisit in the future just for the sheer laughs that it gives, and just to look at this beautiful design movie. Owen Wilson is fantastic, and I love each separate story in its own right. I think everyone's going to come out of the film with a different favorite story. Personally, I loved the Frances McDormand, Timothy Chalamet storyline the best. I loved that one. But I think they're all great. You know, the art story with Léa Seydoux, and then the final story with Jeffrey Wright and the police chef, and they're all fantastic in their own right. And the one thing I will say is I loved the 2D animation in that final segment of the film. It really made me want to see an entire 2D animated Wes Anderson film. I think that could be a lot of fun.
I agree. And the 2D animation was a lot like the kind of art you see in newspapers, and this movie is The French Dispatch, which is like a newspaper, kind of news column paper, so it really felt in line with the aesthetic.
Absolutely. And another thing that's cool about Awesome Film Fest is you get to see some things that are really small, made on super micro budgets for nothing. And so I know one of Robbie's favorites was the Cardboard Fort.
Oh yes, Cardboard Fort. This is a movie shot in like Britain, and it stars with a bunch of kids and their neighborly shenanigans, and there's a bit of a kid gang war in a sense.
Yeah.
They use water guns, of course, and they have
Absolutely.
water balloons, and it's just like a fun summer scene where they have.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie. It's very much in line with things like Taika Waititi's Hunt for the Wilder People, and you can definitely tell it was inspired by the work of Edgar Wright and Taika, and it's just a lot of fun. And getting to hear the director talk about afterwards how it was made for £5,000, which was roughly, $7,000 US, is super inspiring to hear from us as film students who want to make things, and to hear that they made something so cool and so fun and energetic on such a cheap budget, and particularly with the colors that this film conveys. It's really bright, and it's really a fun time. It gives a lot of laughs, and it was really inspiring to see, and I enjoyed the film.
Yeah, going off what you said, like, I feel like there's such a big variety of movies that are shown in AFF. Going off on like the lower budget movies, I know also interviewed the director of a movie called Karma Link, and the concept by itself was really interesting. It's like it mixes like sci-fi with Buddhism, takes place in Cambodia, and it talks about all these different things. It's like a really unique story, and I saw like the trailer and had amazing CGI, and it's a very low budget movie. They told me.
That's crazy. I'm sad I didn't get a chance to see that. One more I'm sad I didn't get a chance to see, just to wrap it up, is Cicada, and I'll let Robbie close us out with Cicada.
Cicada was a very, very interesting movie. Just what can I say? Well, it's not really much to say. It's kind of left me speechless. There were definitely cicadas in there.
Just like Memoria, right? Memoria also left you speechless?
Yes, there's a lot.
Put him to sleep. All right, so that's all we have for today, folks. Thanks for letting us talk about AFF here for a little bit. I'm Hunter.
Amanda?
I'm Robbie.
Thank you so much.